Hello, my lovely Capricorn, and welcome to your monthly love reading. This is just a general reading, so please do take what resonates and toss the rest. Also, if you haven't had a chance to check out your monthly general reading for an overview, please do so. It's up on my channel. I also have a poll up, so if any of you have a chance to take that or want to take that, please do. And it's just in reference to engagement. My favorite part of doing this, and the reason I kind of started doing this channel was to get to interact with people, because I'm a little bit, I have some social anxiety issues a little, and so I love the comments and I love to comment back to people, and so I don't get a lot of comments, and I wondered if there was a reason or what I could do to improve that. So that poll is regarding that if you get a chance. Otherwise, if you do enjoy this, please do like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification bell, all the other great stuff that goes along with it. Otherwise, without further ado, let's jump in here, my lovely Capricorns, and find out what it is that you are looking at love-wise for this month, okay? And this top row is kind of indicative of where you are now. Time is fluid in tarot, of course, so you may be in the throes of this. This may not be quite where you are yet, but this middle row is what you may or may not see coming throughout the month, but it is on its way. And the bottom row is Spirit's guide to you, or advice to you, or whomever you believe in, celestial beings, ancestors, communion of saints, your higher divination, whatever it may be. So let's get started here, and then at the end we will certainly get some love clarifiers as well. So I do see that you are healing, okay, from a heartbreak. I do feel like maybe you have come out of a relationship, and again, this does not, it's fluid in tarot time. So this doesn't mean that was a recent relationship. This could have been something you broke up with years ago, and you've just been kind of like, that's been the one. Maybe you've been dating, you're like, I've been through a lot of relationships since then, or this or that, but you've still always kind of compared things to that person, right? So you've always kind of still been in a healing phase from that person, and you may always be to some extent, right? But I do feel like you're healing in a way that is kind of giving me that vibe that maybe you're healing because you found somebody who doesn't make you think of that one possibly, or you've kind of started to realize that there's more out there than that one. You're seeing things in a different kind of perspective, I feel like. So I do feel like you're healing in a way that's more full, okay? A more full healing, different types of outlook. So, and those of you who that's recent, you're ready to kind of move on. You're ready to heal. You're over it a little bit, and you're kind of like, I just want to put that behind me, right? The next card is your Three of Cups. So, I feel like that's where you are. You're wanting to celebrate. You're wanting to kind of change the way you've seen things, the way you've been. Maybe you've been in a funk. Maybe you've been kind of down and out. Maybe you are one of those people that's been like, okay, I've been in relationships, but every one of them has failed, so I feel miserable, or I feel like I have a really bad, bad luck, or, I have a really bad chance of ever finding somebody because everyone I get into, it just fails. But you may be self-sabotaging, okay? Because again, think about it. If you're setting this person up when you go into the relationship to kind of meet the standard of the one back in such and such a day two, no two people are ever going to be the same. And if you can't look at somebody for the qualities that they have only, they're always going to fall short, right? So you may be a little bit self-sabotaging, and that may be something that you've kind of learned. That may be what your healing is, that you kind of realize, hey, I just need to take people for what they are. And when I start doing that, I see the value in this person, completely separate from anything that I'm comparing them to. If I stop comparing them, they really have value, right? So I think you are in a jubilant phase where you're able to be with friends, be with others, be happy, celebrate, joy, So, maybe you are meeting and greeting more. Maybe you are ready to get out there back on the horse and kind of find someone new if you haven't already, or have your eye on someone at least already. Because I see the Seven of Swords here, and that is telling me that, even though you've had heartbreak and even though you've had strife, you are ready to pick up what you have left. You are ready to pick up everything in you and you move on to a different direction. You're not going to carry that baggage. You're not going to, you're going to leave behind what should stay in the past. You're not going to compare to that anymore. That's really the vibe I'm getting, is more of a comparison thing. You're not going to compare it to that. You're not going to also hold the sins of this one. If this was a recent heartbreak, we all tend to want to do that, right? We don't trust the new one because we automatically think they're just like this one. we hold the sins of this one against somebody new. And you're not, I feel like you're in that phase where you're like, I'm not going to do that. You know, I'm leaving these two swords behind. Okay. That is literally, I'm shedding that off. I'm sloughing that off. New beginning, right? Ready for something brand new, more exciting, happy. I've got strength. I've got power. I'm taking my swords and I'm going to find my joy, right? So let's see what you've got coming in the middle here. And I do see Page of Cups, okay, and that's under your healing process. So for some of you, you know, Page of Cups is usually a younger person, or it could just be, you know, an immature type of person, maybe not like that long-term perfect relationship that you're looking for, or lifelong companionship, you know, like this is the one that I'm going to marry and have, you know, my whole entire life set up with and die old with, but they're fun, right? So they're really kind of helping you with the healing. And I feel like maybe for some of you, that's exactly what you need, okay? So for some of you, you're seeing this Page of Cups come in, you know, and that's really helping you heal, because for once, it's like, you know, I'm not looking at this as such a serious thing. I'm looking at this just for what it is. And I like the idea that I'm only looking at things for what they are. And that's kind of a almost epiphany for you, right? Because you're like, hey, when I look at this person just for their values, they're fun. They're good to hang out with. They're cool to have around. I could call them on a whim and they, you know, so if I look at it for that, just for their values of what I care about them for, or what they want to do with me, then they are like a lot of fun. But if I was to judge them against 8 other people, no, I would hate that. You know, I'd be like, they don't tick off every box in the entire world that such and such did. Okay, but you've stopped doing that. So now you're really able to let yourself go and enjoy this kind of, you know, younger, just fun, less mature, you know, less weighted, heavy, you know, so much pressure type of relationship. And I think maybe that is what you kind of need for some of you. I think some of you are like, this would be great. You know, if this person hasn't already come into your life, you're like, bring them on. Because I do see that happening. I do see that kind of person, a younger person or a less mature person, you know, somebody that you're not like dead set serious about relationship with, but they're fun. And they're helping you really heal, okay? They're helping you get past those past mindsets that may have kind of really limited your potential to develop a relationship. The next card is the Knight of Swords in reverse. And I just feel like that's you, you know, ultimately, you know, you can rush out there and you can start a relationship anytime, okay? And you could have opportunities rushing in for you anytime. But I feel like at this point, again, this is falling under your 3 of Cups, and I feel like you're kind of ready to harness the brakes on anything that is super, super heavy, okay? So anybody who's coming at you and they're like throwing out major vibes of like, you know, let's, you know, date 2, they want to move in together and talk about having kids or whatever it may be, you know, or marriages or whatever, you're kind of like, that's an opportunity that I'm not really ready for, looking for, because the Knight of Swords is a really fast moving knight. And you're kind of like, you know what? I want to ease back into it. Okay. I'm healing still a little bit. I'm ready for the shift, but I want to ease back into it in a fun, you know, lighthearted type of way, more like a Page of Cups, fun, enjoyable way. And then what happens, right? Like that's kind of how I feel. And that's what I'm seeing for you throughout this month. And especially, you know, weather's breaking, it's fun outside, it's getting warmer, there's more things to do, spend time with your friends, family, whatever. So it's like the perfect time to do that, develop some, you know, just friendships and hang out and situationships and whatever, if that's what you're looking for. So then we have the 7 of Cups in reverse, and that's under your 7 of Swords. So again, I think this is something where I do think you're going to have plenty of choices. I just don't think you're ready to make them right now. Okay. Again, I think they are going to be there. I think you will have them in the future. I think you will have them when you want them. I just think that that is not what you're looking for. I think that you would be ill-advised to try to, you know, corner yourself into one of these choices at this point, because again, I feel like you would be almost jumping out of the, you know, frying pan and into the fire for some of you. Okay. I just feel like that's where this is kind of what what the lead up is. That's the feeling that I'm getting, the vibe that I'm getting. You're ready to be strong. You're ready to build your strength. You're ready to build your healing. You're ready to enjoy yourself. But, you know, to get right back into, and when I'm saying right back into, some of you may be like, I broke up with this person 5 years ago and I've been single ever since. What the crap is she talking about? But, okay, you know, if your mind has not been ready, if you've still been hanging on to that in any way, and you're just now getting to a point where you are healing enough to feel like, okay, I'm seeing things in a perspective that's changed, you know, you have to figure out how to embrace that perspective first, right? So I'm not saying stay alone. I'm not, by no means am I saying, no, you need to stay home and learn more about yourself. Okay, that's not what I'm saying at all, because you're probably like, I'm in a home alone. What are you talking about? No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is have fun, enjoy yourself. You know, if you want to, you know, sample all of the choices, you know, different things, that's fine. But I would not jump into anything, you know, on a high level, okay? Because I do feel like things will come rushing in at you too fast. And, you know, I do feel like I see you pumping your brakes. So I think you kind of already know this for most of you anyway. But let's see what Spirit's advice to you is, because my advice is irrelevant here. I'm just reading. So I see the Fool card in reverse. And again, I do think this is you grounding yourself, okay? I feel like, you know, maybe you felt in the past like you've been a fool, okay, in more ways than one. So you've gone from either being a fool in love, where you were just so happy in love with, you know, the ideal person and it flopped. And you've compared everything to that, to where you've kind of been a fool in love because you may have self-sabotaged. You may have taken on, you know, people that you really didn't even like, just so you didn't have to be alone. Maybe a codependency type of feeling. We all have done that, I'm sure. But, you know, this is telling you again that, you know, you are a fool no more, right? This is Spirit telling you, you are no longer a fool. You're grounding yourself now. Now you are learning. Again, this is what I'm saying here. You're feeling like you're coming back into yourself. And if you want to enjoy yourself and have fun with somebody, as long as you are aware that that's kind of all it is, and you're seeing it in that regard, in that respect, then that's wonderful, because, you know, you aren't jumping into something that is major. You're not super rebounding, you know, and getting yourself right back into some more, you know, possible explosive heartbreak, or, you know, another comparison that's going to crush your significant other when you say, well, you just didn't cut the mustard because you're not such and such, you know, because they can't live up to that either, right? So it's not really fair to either one of you. So that kind of thing. But this is Spirit saying, hey, it's okay to enjoy yourself and ground yourself, you know, find out what it is that you really want out of somebody, independent of anything you've had in the past, right? So the next card is the Page of Pentacles in reverse, okay? So I feel like what this is saying is, you know, again, this is under your Celebration cup, and this is under your Knight of Swords rushing in. So I feel like, again, this is them saying, you know, there are going to be opportunities coming in for sure. But just, again, I feel like this is something where, you know, you want to take it slow, okay? And you don't want to, with this being a Page of Pentacles, okay? I feel like for some of you, you know, you may have that codependency. I just had that, you know, and, you know, that's fine. Lots of people have that. It's a common thing, especially in a world we live in that's so expensive, and people get codependent for logistical reasons, because, you know, you need someone to live with, to, you know, cohabitate with for bill purposes and everything else. I mean, we live in a world that really promotes codependency, honestly. But I do feel like this is Spirit kind of warning you. Do not let somebody come in to your life and kind of latch onto them with the Pentacle situation here, because you feel like you need them financially or something like that. Don't get yourself into a financial connection. So, you know, don't like jump to move in with them, or jump to kind of commit anything more serious that could tie you to them like that in a financial format. So I do feel like this is kind of a warning from Spirit to be careful. And that is under your Knight of Swords rushing in. And I do feel like, you know, you kind of already kiboshed that, put the halt on that, because you kind of know that. And I just think this is more like Spirit saying, you know, if there becomes a point where you feel like, I need to kind of have somebody to lean on, or it would be nice financially, to have somebody to kind of share bills with, or this or that. Maybe I can move them in as a roommate, and roommates sometimes get different opinions than maybe you do, especially, if this Page of Cups decides to become the Page of Pentacles. You are like, okay, I'm taking that person, that's fun, and you want to move them in as a roommate. You have to remember they work on a more immature level. So you may be able to handle that you're just in a situationship or friendship that's fun, and they may not. So if you start moving them in, you start doing things like that where you're giving off the impression, you may be looking at it as just a way to save funds. They may be looking at it as, oh, we're serious. This is very serious. And they may be very hard to get rid of. Okay. So consider that. Do you want saddled with somebody? And I think Spirit's kind of letting you know that, if somebody starts kind of moving in that direction, be careful, because you could end up really getting yourself right back into something you may not even mean to get yourself into. I mean, it's quite possible that this Knight of Swords could be this Page of Cups, that they really are taken with you. You're a more mature, you're a more settled person. You're really a step up for them. And, you're having fun with them and you're looking at it in that format, but they're really falling for you big time. So they're rushing to you. Hey, let's do more. But you're like, no, this is cool. This is cool in your mind. But, if you give them a little bit of an inch down here by saying, sure, we can live together and be roommates, it'll save us some money. You're logistically looking at it. They're not, okay? They have an emotional tie, and that can cause major problems, right? So keep that in mind, because your last card is the Lovers in reverse. And everything in me is telling me that that's what would happen here. They're just warning you. Again, Spirit's warning you that if you let somebody, have options, you take somebody's options, they rush in and they offer something. Hey, especially I'm getting kind of this feeling now that this Page of Cups may be that same person. You are able to handle that. This is what you want, is just a fun, happy-go-lucky relationship. They may be on starting out on that level, but you are really a catch vibrationally, level-wise, maturity-wise, all of that, probably financially-wise. You're a catch possibly for them, like completely. And so they're going to be more enamored with you. And the more you hang out with them, the more you're kind of giving them hope, the more, and you're fine with just being what it is, that if it's friends with benefits, if it's just situationship, if it's just hanging out, whatever. But they, any little inch that you give them, they're seeing that as big opportunity. Oh, this means a lot more than it does. Because remember, they are either younger, so they don't have a lot of experience, or with relationships, okay? Not necessarily, they don't have a lot of experience with women or men, in that regard, but just with relationships for real. Or they just are less mature and they don't know how to kind of separate, emotions from, logistics, and, like that takes a lot of time and honing to do for a lot of people. So, you give them a little inch, or you give them like, sure, we'll share some bills. It'd be great for both of us, oh yeah, it's closer to work for you. Cool. I live there. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can do that. Sure. We'll share Netflix accounts. Sure. We'll share whatever accounts. Sure. Save us both some money. Yeah. Let's get on the same phone plan. It'll save us both some money. Okay. Be careful, because you may be just thinking about the financials and they're thinking about, oh, this is merging into a perfect union. We're one step away from the wedding bells, just, be cognizant, because the Lovers in reverse here is kind of letting me know that this is going to be you having to potentially break someone's heart. Okay. Because it's falling under where you have to pick up and leave. Okay. Your strength is like, nope, gotta go. And you pushing away choices. Okay. So again, you may be the one having to kind of break hearts and kick this to the curb. And that may be a lot harder than you think. Some people are a lot harder to get rid of than others. And if they're immature, they can turn nasty. They can turn spiteful. They can make things really hard. And not only that, if you're a non-confrontational person in general, this may be really hard for you just in general to approach that. You may be like, oh, great, I'm stuck with this person living with me forever on the same phone plan forever, Netflix forever, because I can't say anything I don't want to. That's not what you want. Trust me. So just be clear and be careful with what you're allowing to happen here. Spirit's just warning you, okay? Stay grounded to you and only you. But let's get you 3 love cards here and see if it gives us any more kind of clarity. So flirt, and I do feel like this is what they're telling you. This person is someone that is great to flirt with, great to have fun with, but make sure that you don't really give them any sort of indication that it's any more than that, if that's all you want, okay? Because I do feel like that person is maybe the person that is going to kind of start out that way and then want so much more, okay? I really am getting that vibe, okay? And so I think Spirit's telling you, make sure that you kind of leave it at that. Like, we're flirting, we're having fun. This is a very flirty situation. This is not anything more, okay? This one is calling in your soulmate, okay? And again, I do think that this is up here, you're celebrating the idea that you're ready for a soulmate, you're ready for someone new, okay? But again, you're putting the brakes on anybody coming in trying to make that happen fast. Spirit's warning you, don't get tied down too fast. So again, I think what Spirit is saying here is this situation is not your soulmate, okay? You need to instead wait. Call in your soulmate. Wait for your soulmate, okay? You're still waiting for your soulmate. This is fun. Do not allow them to think they're any more than that, because they aren't. Still, you know, plan for your soulmate. They're still out there. They're still coming, but it's not this. And don't get it misconstrued, and don't allow them to misconstrue it, okay? So, you know, please. And your last card is codependency. I think we already kind of discussed that situation here. And I think that is going to be your biggest problem, is the codependency situation here is what may get you into, you know, an issue. And codependency, you know, it has a bad rap, a stigma attached to that word. But in reality, in 2023, in this world, in this economy, codependency is nothing more than, you know, for a lot of people, is nothing more than, hey, we should just, you know, combine some bills to save some cash. You know, it's nothing more than some roommates like you did in college to save some money, but now adults have to do it because the economy sucks, right? So, you know, don't take this as a negative anymore whatsoever. You know, for you, I feel like this is just, hey, sure, that's easier, for it's closer to my work, you know, sure, why not save some money on the password for Netflix or phone accounts or whatever, yada yada, cool. They're looking at it because maybe they are codependent, they're younger, they're less mature, and they're seeing, oh, I can latch onto this person who is such a great catch for me, which you are, and they're becoming codependent on you, but that makes it twice as hard for you to push them away. Okay, so this is what Spirit's telling you. The more codependent they become on you, the harder it's going to be for you to kick them, you know, off when you're like, okay, maybe you do meet your soulmate for real, or maybe you do find that you're ready for your soulmate to come in and this person's causing problems because everybody you meet is like, but you live with a dude who's clearly in love with you, or a girl who's clearly in love with you. You see what I'm saying? So they don't want anything, they don't want any part of that, right? They're like, I'm not getting that drama. So, you know, it's causing you problems, and you're like, okay, so I have to do something or I'm never going to be able to get my soulmate. Well, it's going to be twice as hard when you all have become kind of, you know, intermingled, codependent financially or home-wise or, you know, whatever-wise. So be careful, okay? But, you know, otherwise, you know, have fun, enjoy yourself, just make sure your boundaries are solid and set, and don't lose yourself in it, okay? For sure, don't let them lose themselves. Be clear on your boundaries, but don't lose yourself in it either, because I know sometimes it can be easy to do that, especially if you're healing, you're coming out of something, you know, and maybe even if you've come out of it a long time ago and now something's feeling fun and enjoyable to you, and maybe you haven't felt that in a long time, you know, it's easy to like misconstrue that as, oh, is this love? You know, is this, you know, whatever. That can happen to anybody. So again, you know, Spirit's letting you know, just flirt, just keep it on that level. This is not your soulmate. Your soulmate's still out there. Keep waiting for them. Keep calling them in, spiritually calling them in. But make sure you keep this one at arm's length, because otherwise it could affect that. So anyway, if this did set well with you or resonate with you or whatever, please do like, subscribe, share, all that other great stuff. Hit the notification bell, because I have weekly readings coming up, moon readings coming up, all kinds of stuff you don't want to miss, I hope. And I hope to see you back. Bye.